Hi everybody, how you doing? I hope you had a wonderful Easter week and Easter Sunday. Spent time with family and friends. And I hope it was just a beautiful day for you. So anyway, I thought I would jump on and talk about a couple of things that are circulating on YouTube. And one of which has to do with the Artemis astronauts. Stop licking. They are saying that because a jar of Nutella went floating by, they are saying that there's just too many things going on that are strange and look like they're on a film set, that this is really not happening, that they have not gone to the moon. You know, there's been conspiracy theories about this for as long as I can remember. I was a child. I saw when the first Apollo mission went to the moon with Neil Armstrong. And I remember at night thinking, wow, looking up at the moon and thinking, there's men up there. That was just so cool. And then when they came back, this all happened in the summertime, so I wasn't in school. My dad, they came to Chicago for a ticker tape parade. And I was, up front. And as their car went by slowly, and, there was Neil Armstrong right in front of me. He looked right at me and he waved and I was waving. And I always think, that was special. But he probably doesn't remember me from a hole in the wall. How many people, were there? But it was a special moment for me to see him face to face and have him look at me directly and wave, which was so sweet. So he probably thought, oh, this little girl with hair like I have now. So, he just, they went. Also, now I live in Florida and have been here for many years. I have seen the launches of the shuttles. I could see them. Where I used to live, I could see them. I could probably still see them now. So, could see them taking off. And it usually takes about 5 minutes. Once they take off on camera, you go outside and you wait 5 minutes and then you could see it going up. So the day I remember the Challenger explosion, I was watching and getting ready to go outside when go for throttle up and the spaceship, the rockets, everything kind of went flying. So I knew right away. Oh my God, I started screaming to my mom. I'm like, the shuttle blew up, the shuttle blew up. And of course, this was the first teacher in space and all the others. And it just is, oh my gosh, ran out front and I could see the plume and I could see the two plumes from, trails of the rockets. And it stayed up in the sky for a while, because I got dressed and had to go to work. And even when I was driving straight ahead, I could see it. So very sad. These trips are real. I also could hear them come back because they used to come back over where I lived at the time. So where I lived at the time, when the shuttle would come back into Earth's orbit, it would make a big sonic boom and we could always hear the boom. And I remember the day that the Columbia, I was watching on TV and they were saying that it should be entering Earth's atmosphere and waiting for that sonic boom. And I didn't hear it. And they said, we're still waiting. And I knew. I knew right then and there something tragic had happened. And it had. It had, I don't know what, exploded coming into Earth's orbit. I knew, though, because I had not heard the boom, that they should be there. And they're not. So, another tragedy. And that's what exploration is. It's, you know, having tragedies happen and people keep pushing forward. So, to all those heroes of ours and who've gone into space and risked their lives, you are the true heroes. So the Artemis mission, I love those guys up there. They're so cool. And I've just been enjoying it and watching it. And, I didn't see it go up this time because I don't know, I didn't know the time or something. But anyway, I could have seen it from where I'm at. So I didn't watch it, and it's now going to land back in the ocean, so I'm not going to hear a sonic boom. But it was just, I've been enjoying watching them up there every day, and they're beautiful photography that they're getting. And just because the Nutella went floating by, everybody, they're not really there. It's a conspiracy. And they're doing this just to get our minds off of what's happening in the world and Trump and the Trump Epstein files and everything else. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. They are really up there doing a mission. They're going to go again next year. And then the year after that, they're actually going to make a landing on the moon. So I hope I'll still be around to watch it. And it'll be just a blessing if I am. And probably head over to the Space Coast to watch that launch. So I do believe in some conspiracies. Like, I do believe that there's some conspiracy with JFK. Yeah, there's stuff going on there. The story they came up with, no. There was a conspiracy to get rid of him. And I also believe that, Marilyn Monroe did not commit suicide. And I think there was something, she was murdered. And anyway, very tragic. But I don't believe she committed suicide. I believe she was murdered. And I think it had to do with the Kennedys. It had to do with them upholding, their standing in our country. And I think Jackie knew about it. And so I could go into it. There's things, go look it up on YouTube. There's whole shows about, what was in Jackie O's files when she, after she died, and have come out recently. So it's not like I'm against conspiracies, but I'm against ones that are just silly. And the astronauts had, they always have the president call them in space. And I've watched a lot of those through the years. I remember when Nixon called the astronauts in space. It's a big thing. They're excited. It's a big thing. It's all a big thing. And this time Trump called and he gave a little speech and they all just floated there. No one said a word. It was just amazing. And then one of the lead astronaut, I think, he said, or the captain, he said, are we still connected or something? And And Trump says, well, I'm still here. So, yeah. And then take that and then compare it to the Canadian Prime Minister calling. Total different atmosphere. Total different atmosphere. They were very excited to talk to him. They were engaged. He spoke half, in French and half English, and everybody really enjoyed and was engaged with speaking with him. So you just kind of look at those two things and you can kind of get an idea of what these brave men and women think about what's going on. They look down at this beautiful world where we all live together and we should all be peaceful together. And for a president to threaten to annihilate an entire civilization is appalling. Appalling. He needs to be, let's get Amendment 25 and get him out. Get him to a hospital where he could get some proper scans and proper help. Because if he is in the early stages of Alzheimer's or dementia, his dad had Alzheimer's, there are medications today that can prolong the progression of that disease. So it's in his best interest and the country and the world's best interest that he be taken to get some help and he be removed from office so this craziness can go away. I don't know if J.D. Vance is as crazy, but I don't know. Back in 2016, he said, oh, Trump is just a horrible person. He said all these nasty things about Trump, and now he's vice president. Oh, I love him. So, people are just being careful of themselves and their jobs. They don't want to lose. So, I understand we're living in really tough times, but this isn't the first time we've lived in tough times, but this is the first time that I won't say the first time, the second time that we've gotten to the point where a president, now this is the first time we had a president threaten another country with annihilation. And it's the second time in our country that we have had to skirt that and get it out of the way and not do that. And I'm talking about, the Bay of Pigs and JFK and Cuba and all of that. So we avoided a nuclear catastrophe then. And if we get Trump out of the White House, we'll avoid a nuclear catastrophe. So there have been hard times before. There was the Great Depression. If you think back in your history, the Great Depression in the 20s, late 20s, people jumping out of windows, they lost everything. It was chaos, and then of course we've been through World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, and then all these other little Middle Eastern wars and stuff. So I say little only because of the time frame. The other wars took significantly more time, especially Vietnam. I heard somebody say the other day, like 16 years, but that's not my recollection. It was like 11 years. So I was a kid at the time, and we used to get bracelets with a soldier that was missing in action. And we would write to that person and pray for that person. And then when the war ended, would check to see if our person came back. And my person didn't come back. So I had friends that had their soldiers come back, but my soldier didn't come back. And I wish I would have kept that bracelet. I don't know what happened to it through the years, but I would have liked to check it when I was in Washington for the We took 2 field trips when I was at a middle school, 2 field trips to Washington, and I could have checked on the on the wall for the Vietnam soldiers. I would have liked to have checked his name, just seeing if it showed up. But yeah, that was a great experience going to Washington. Just a wonderful experience, and going to Lincoln and standing on the exact spot Martin Luther King stood on when he gave his I Have a Dream speech. And I've memorized that speech. And I stood there with my son and I started saying the speech. Pretty soon I had like a crowd and they all clapped at the end. And I was just so touched by that because I love him so much. I love listening to him talk, his wisdom, his just profound knowledge that he had. He's definitely one of my greatest heroes. So right now I have another great hero who's Senator Mark Kelly. I love him. He hasn't said he's going to run for president, but I would love to see him as president because here he was. He was in Vietnam as a fighter pilot. Did many missions, came back. His wife is Gabby Gifford, who tragically was someone tried to assassinate, but she came back. And she came back as a senator or a congresswoman. And then now we have Senator Mark Kelly, who also, in between the war and becoming a senator, was an astronaut and flew on the shuttle missions. So I call him a hero. He's a hero. He fought for this country. He went into space for this country. And now he's a senator trying to do his best for this country. He is a true hero. And yeah, he hasn't said he's going to run for president, but he's got my vote. So if he does. But he's a real hero. That's what a hero is, Donald Trump. Anyway, you've never even come close to being a hero. You're the opposite. Anyway, just wanted to talk about that. And this is the things that are going on. And I just think that we've got to stay positive. Yes, food prices are high. They've been high before. And the gas prices are high. They've been high before. I remember in the late 70s having to wait in line to get gas, in the cold, because of the gas shortage and the energy crisis and having to keep our homes. My mom and dad had to keep our home at, I want to say 65 degrees for heat. And I remember one night it was so cold that my dad just took mattresses and we went down and our basement was finished. It was very pretty. And he lit up the fire, had the fire going really strong. And we all slept down there together. My mom, my dad, my brother, and me. And that was really cool. So that's what we started doing to contribute. And Jimmy Carter was president at that time. He was just a wonderful man, another hero in my eyes, a great man. And we have so few really great men out there. But yeah, he was one of them. He was a great man. It's sad the country didn't see it at that time. So we've been through rough times. The only difference I see now is that the population explosion, how big, 8 million or 8 billion, I'm sorry, people, that's just insane. It's insane. If I was a younger person today, I wouldn't have children. I wouldn't bring them into this world. I don't think it's a good idea right now. I think we're going to be unstable for a little while, but we will get back on track. I firmly believe that we will get back on track God is good. He loves us. If we all keep praying, He will lead the way and He'll lead us forward. So I think we just got to wait. It's going to be a few years. And what else I wanted to ask you all about is that my son and I right now live in a modular home, which this is the first time living in one, and we've learned a lot about them. And so we are going to sell. It's ridiculous to live in this neighborhood. You just get a letter every other day of what you're doing wrong. And it's not like it's, we have like really nice grass, but a lot of people just have sand for their front lawn. So, and it's like $90 a month for HOA fees. That's crazy. That's more than I've paid in all the other neighborhoods I've lived in with HOAs. It's crazy. And those were in big houses, nice houses. And you paid maybe $25 a month. I mean, really, it's crazy. So what our plan is, my son is driving an hour to work now. Our plan is to move to an apartment up in that area and rent for at least a year. And my retirement and Social Security will be able to pay the bills. And then my son's money will go in the bank so that we can save. And I have a nest egg in this house when we sell it. Put that all together. And then there's new houses being built up that way. So hopefully we can save enough money to buy a new house. And I don't plan on living that much longer. I really don't think. I don't know, but I really don't think. I finally got to a good doctor. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I want my son to be in a nice house with a nice fenced-in backyard for my puppies so they can go running and playing, and a pool they can jump in, and maybe an above-ground pool with a deck around it or something, but, something. So, yeah, then I will feel better, but not entirely, because these dogs, when I leave, they just scream and cry the whole time I'm gone. It's horrid. So I tried to take this one with me to my new doctor appointment last week, and she cried the whole time there too. So my son took her and brought her home because I think she was scared we were going to leave her or something. I'm not really sure what she thought. But I didn't bring Mary because she's kind of crazy. Caesar Milan, if you're out there, I need you. I know that I'm a bad dog owner. I know that I need to be fixed because I've got wonderful puppies that I love. But Mary, she goes crazy. She sees a dog on TV. She about knocks the house apart. It's even to take her outside, she pulls and pulls and pulls, trying to get to other people, other dogs, and people just run the other way. So anyway, Caesar, if you're out there, please help me. Please help me be a good pet owner because I love my dogs. I love all animals. But I'm only allowed to have these dogs here and in the apartment. So when I get to a house, I'd like to get other dogs. So these guys can have more friends. But I really want a golden retriever. My last golden retriever passed away in 2023, September 8th. And I'm still grieving horribly. Horribly. And because he died quickly and suddenly at a younger age. My other golden Sadie, she was 12. We were told she had spleen cancer, and so we were prepared. But she was 12 years old at least. She made it to what the end of their lifespan is today. With these dogs, yes, I am feeding them table scraps and things like that. Yeah, I cook for them and trying to trying to see if the food changes, you know. So anyhow, I I'm gonna go to the apartment and then buy a house. So if you've ever lived in an apartment, or you're probably struggling too, like I am. We actually did go to a food pantry a couple of times. I feel really bad about that, but we had to. So we needed food. So I'm not eating the best food right now, not like I normally eat. And so tell me what you think about that plan. Do you think that's a good idea? Because the last 10 years I've been messing up pretty bad. So if you can give me some wisdom and some advice, I would really appreciate that. Also on my hair, you know, I don't know if I should let it grow out again or get it shorter, you know, up on top. I don't know what to do. So I like it like this because it's easy. It's very easy. So I'm enjoying that. But I used to always have longer hair, like when my 20s, 30s, and 40s, until I got chemo and lost all my hair. I had long hair of 20s, 30s, and into my 40s. And then I grew it out again once it, you know, it took a while, but it grew back. And yeah, I could show you a quick picture I got over here. Let me. I can show you. I think this was this picture here. Trying not to have the glare. That was me right before cancer. Am I getting it on there? Without the glare. Here. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that was me before cancer. And yeah, cancer took a lot out of me. So, a lot out of my whole body. So anyway, I deal with what I have to deal with. But I did go to my new doctor, and we are going to be doing a lot of tests. So I've got all that scheduled, and we're going to figure out what's going on. So I'm going to have my carotid arteries ultrasound and my thyroid in through here because it's like swollen. It never used to be like that. It's just gotten like that within, I would say, the last couple months. So we're going to have that also scanned, and also we're going to do a MRI of my brain. They're trying to detect where's all this dizziness coming from. And yeah, I'm a dizzy broad. That's what it is. But yeah, it causes me to fall. Yeah. And I've been okay most of the time falling. I did break my ankle one time, but not the last time I fell, because I just fell last week, but luckily I fell onto the dog's bed, and I did hit my head against the frame of the door. I kind of hit it here, and then I don't know how I hit it back there. I must have gone down or something. But it still hurts, but you know, it was okay. The worst one was probably about 7, 8 months ago, I think. I was hanging privacy curtains on my porch, my screen-in porch, and I really can't I was just on a step ladder. It was like up, you know, about there, up about there, you know. So then I don't know what happened. I really couldn't tell you. I was holding on to the ladder and then hanging up the thing. I think it was the motion of looking up and looking down, which made me dizzy. So I really went flying back. My arm hit this really heavy table on the way down, and I landed, boom, really hard on my lumbar region of my back, which already has problems. So I yelled for help, but nobody heard me. My neighbors are snowbirds, so they go back up north for the summer. And my one neighbor, the Canadian, he's not coming back. He came, put his house up for sale, and he won't be back. His wife is having issues, so I'm gonna miss them. So anyway, but I called for help and nobody heard me because I couldn't walk. So I ended up, dragging myself on my elbows. I had to get up some stairs and getting into the house and then getting to my bed and just trying to get up on there and laying there in absolute agony. It was just terrible. And my son was working closer by that time. He was only like 15 minutes. So I did call him. I told him I'm in so much pain. Please help me. And he came home. And I didn't, because of my new insurance, I didn't go to the emergency room. I got to look into something else because, but I literally couldn't walk for a couple of days. Then I started walking, with crutches and a cane and only taking small steps. That was a bad one. That was bad. So anyhow, so my doctor, she's going to do the brain. She's going to do the ultrasounds. She's going to do another test. I don't remember what it is, what it's specifically called. And then she's going to do blood work. So I'm going to have that all done at the end of this month. And then I will go in and see her and we will go through the results. She said, then we're going to find out about my heart because there's something going on with my heart and I don't know what it is. It seems like when my blood pressure is high, my heart is pumping slowly. So my blood pressure will be like, I don't know, 150/90, and my heart will be beating at like 50. It's never done that. So, or my blood pressure will be low, like 120/80, like normal, and my heart rate will be like 110. And I know because I can feel it, I feel sick. When my heart races like that, it makes you feel sick. You feel this like sickness in you. And so we're going to check that out and see what's going on. So that's why I say, yeah, I don't know. Just pray for me and for my son and my dogs. I don't want to leave them yet. God knows what's best. So his timing is always perfect. So I will just give it to him and he'll tell me when I get to come home. So after this long journey. So anyway, but yeah, the dogs would be devastated. He'd have to take them to work with him every day. I don't know. It would be devastating for them. So, and of course there's little Presley. He's still going, he's moving right along there, 17-year-old little guy. He's, I did cut a lot of his hair the other day because the doctor said not to take him. Last time I took him to be groomed was well over a year ago. He had a seizure. So my doctor said, don't take him to be groomed. It's too stressful. So I try and snip, just keeping the eyes cleared and the nose cleared, the mouth cleared, and his private parts cleared. So, yeah, but it will be exciting if we can make it to November and he could turn 18. I'll be so happy. Because Presley, he suffered a lot with me, He suffered the loss of Sadie, and he suffered his best friend, Joey. He's never been the same since we lost Joey. Never been the same. That started his downfall. So I love dogs. And just like Toby Mac's new song, I got heaven on my mind. I got people waiting by. I just close my eyes and I can see me dancing on those golden streets. but it ain't so bad down here. So, you know, life ain't bad down here. So we will continue on and push forward. And please do like and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. I'm trying to get this going. And leave me some comments if you've got ideas for me. My life, advice. I'm 66 years old, so you know it's been quite a ride. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you have to say. So please like and subscribe. It's free. I'm subscribed to, I can't even tell you how many people. So it's free. And it's not hassling or anything like that. And, and I always like everybody. If I watch somebody, I like them just because, that's how I am. So, well, God bless you. Let me let you go. It's been 35 minutes and I just wish you the best. I pray for you and may God be with you and give you a super sparkly, blessed day. Right, men? Look at Min. I had to cut her hair around her face too. I did good with Minnie. Say bye, Minnie. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl. Yes, I am. So God bless you. I'll talk to you next time, please. Okay, bye.